Hi, welcome to Gemini Star Spiritual Wellness. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited that you're here with me. As always, please like and subscribe. When you hit the like button, it will send it out to other people that need to see this information. And if you hit subscribe, then you will see future videos that I put out. So today we're going to do the first detailed deep look at our chakras. Today we're doing the root chakra. And I'll be doing this with all 7 chakras over the next couple weeks, taking a deeper, detailed look at them. So I wanted to do this chakra series now because a lot of people are going to be waking up on the planet. And a lot of people don't know what chakras are, don't really understand how energy works with our body. And so these videos are just to give some, basic information to kind of inform people who maybe have never heard of this or are new to these concepts. And even if you've heard of it, just to give you maybe some advice or some knowledge that you didn't have before. So that's the premise of these videos. So thank you for joining me for this first one with the root chakra. So the root chakra is extremely important because it's the first one that we develop in our life. And the first 3 chakras, the root, sacral, and the solar plexus, a lot of times, a lot of negative energy that gets gunked up in our energy field is from those 3 chakras because they are connected to our physical, emotional, and mental bodies. So it has a tendency to gunk it up, but also because they were the first ones that we develop while we're on the earth. So the root chakra is located at the base of the spine, and I want you to think of like a funnel, like the shape. So it's coming out, the pointed shape is coming from your body down, okay, to the ground. So the funnel part, the big wide part is going down towards the ground. So and that's how energy flows in and out of that chakra. And that's the one that it's extremely important to have grounded to the earth because that's how it releases negative energy. So as you're transmuting energy and you need to get rid of the negative energy, your root chakra will push it down towards the earth. But if it's blocked, if that chakra is blocked and it can't get rid of that negative energy, then it gets gunked up and then you start, it stops working properly and gets blocked and then you start having problems. But it's the root chakra is connected to the color red. And it is developed in our youth. So it's developed from birth to the age of 7. So when you think about holding on to, having like a lot of negative energy or negative trauma from, in those lower 3 chakras, think about that for a minute. Think about 0 to 7, how much trauma that a child could be exposed to during that time. And children are, they're pure and they're a pure conduit and they don't have a way, they're underdeveloped, so they don't have a way to release negative energy. So if trauma is happening to them, they don't have a way to properly dispel it from their body as an adult would. They don't have those, that ability. So it's more likely to get blocked up into into that chakra. But yes, it's developed between the ages of 0 and 7. And it's it's connected to our adrenal gland, and that's the same gland that produces adrenaline. And so think about that is the fight or flight. That's what it reminds me of is the fight or flight. And that's what that chakra is working a lot on is our basic survival and our physical body. It's connected to our physical body. So it's a lot of, survival and just, trying to survive in that fight or flight response. Having a hard time talking today. And it goes along with the adrenaline. That chakra covers our basic survival and security. And think about that too, is like 0 to 7. If you're a child and you're not having your basic, survival needs met or security met at that age, that could definitely be a problem with that chakra. And if it's blocked, it produces feelings of like possessiveness, rage, and being ungrounded. And it make you in victimization too. And it can also be connected to digestive issues, the root chakra, because it's down there, not too far from that area of our body. And so both, so what you can do is the root and sacral chakra you can take trauma that has happened, in that time frame, or into the emotional or physical body, and turn them into sources of power. So that's, you can transmute it into a source of power. If you have trauma, and I mean, probably most people have some level of trauma in the first three chakras. I mean, just, our earth life is definitely a school of learning, and it's most of the times it's not been easy for most people. So I'm sure that most people have trauma in those first three chakras, especially the root chakra that they need to work on. And I know, recently I had a Reiki session done in my root chakra. This was a couple months ago, but my root chakra was not, performing like it should have. And I was struggling with feelings of, security, and, feeling insecure, in my life. And that was kind of messing me up. And I had to work through that. So I did. I worked through that. Did a lot of meditation and a lot of, working with crystals, but I feel much better now. But there was a time where I was having a lot of anxiety about, security and, my survival, and it was, kind of odd because I really didn't pick up I was having issues with it until I went to that session and it was pointed out to me, but I did work on it. So, it can happen anytime in your life where you need to work on your root chakra. It doesn't just happen when you're a child from 0 to 7. I mean, it can happen anytime in your life where that chakra can get blocked and cause problems. But turning that trauma into power, it can, you know, often it metabolizes, you can metabolize the energy, and then you return the energy back to the earth that, was negative. So you kind of like metabolize it, transmute it, and then whatever you can't metabolize, you push it out to the earth through the root chakra. So if it's not grounded to the earth, if you're not grounded, then the energy can't clear from that chakra, and that's how it becomes blocked. So it's important to keep yourself grounded. And keeping grounded is, staying in the moment, spending time out with nature, just, putting your feet on the grass and just, touching the grass with the bottom of your feet, and just that, there's many ways to ground. Taking salt baths, listening to good music, meditation. Those are all ways that you can kind of ground your energy to get you unblocked. And it took me maybe a month of working on my root chakra, after that session, to really start to feel different and feel better. And then all of a sudden, that anxiety that I was experiencing, about security and, stability in my life it had dissipated. So I could tell that I had, unblocked it. But I am trying hard to stay grounded. I work on it every day to some level, trying to stay very grounded and connected so that I can flow good, and get that, trauma energy out of me. All right, so the root chakra is associated with the I am, and it's our most, it's our basic chakra. So it's the basic one from our birth, from the very beginning. So it's connected to the I am, and it's also connected to our first energy level. Sorry, first energy layer. So we have like 7 layers around us. So think of it like as a little cocoon around your body, different layers. And the first layer is the etheric layer, and that's the one that the root chakra is connected to, but it's our physical layer. And it's the one that's closest to our physical body. And it's electromagnetic field of our physical body, and it extends up to 2 inches from our body. So, about this far, not too far. And it is it's basically like a connection between, like, how can I say it? The etheric realm, the spiritual realm, and our physical body. So it allows us to have physical sensations, and connects us to, like, body structures and systems. So it's like that bridge that connects us with the spiritual to the physical, and connects us to the physical. And just remember that, we all signed up to come here on the earth in the physical body to get a physical experience. So, that's why we're here. But the divine, he definitely had a plan in place to connect us, to keep us, I should say, connected to the spiritual realm, to the etheric realm, to keep that connection going. So even though we feel separate from the divine and separate from the spiritual world, we're not. We're part of it, and we're very well connected. But we have that veil that came over us when we came to Earth, so we don't know that. We're not really consciously aware of the connection, but we do have it and it's there. So he kind of he set us up. So yeah, we're on Earth to get a physical experience, but we're not here floundering by ourselves on Earth. We do have that connection that we can tap into, and we're always connected. So we're never alone, basically. We're always connected. The etheric layer allows us to exist in the 3D world, the material world, and have, the physical experiences of living in this 3D vibration in frequency. Some people say, they're able to see these layers well. They talk about, there can be shadows or dark areas in this layer that might be seen in this layer, and then it can indicate illness in a person. And the deeper that the layer is and darker can indicate the more serious an illness is. I don't have that ability. I do see auras, but I see just the energy field. I see it on the person, but I don't see the shadows of it. I just see the electromagnetic field without the shadows. I haven't developed that talent yet. And so this layer determines how strong and healthy our physical body is. So if you see, if you have that ability, or if you see a lot of shadows in that layer, that person could be having some physical illness problems. But if that layer is strong, then our physical body will be healthy and strong. So that just goes back to how important the root chakra is, and how important it is to keep it healthy and working properly and not blocked. Because if it gets blocked up, then you're going to start having physical illness issues. You're going to start having problems because it's associated with your physical body. So you're going to start seeing it manifest physically in your body in negative ways if it's blocked. So it's just a very important chakra that you want to keep running smoothly and properly. The stronger the layer is, the stronger your physical body is. That's one way to look at it. And this layer also acts as a protection for the physical body against toxic energy. Because you think about it, we're exposed to toxic energy all the time in the 3D world, in this physical world. And so it's a protective layer around us. So it's like a little protective cocoon, 2 inches up to 2 inches from our body, that's protecting us from, toxic energy. And the etheric layer, because it's connected to our physical body, it holds all seven chakras that are in our body. So you've got the seven chakras, and they're all connected in the physical layer, in the etheric layer. I'm sorry, because it's connected to our physical body, which would make sense because the seven chakras that I'm talking about are, part of our physical body, and they exist in our physical body. So they're all in the etheric layer. So it's nice to know we've got that layer of protection, because, you just think about how much we're inundated with toxic negative energy all over the place, from other people, from other things in the world going on. There's just lots of toxic energy that you can be exposed to. And you think about that, if you have the seven layers around you, the, magnetic fields, the energetic fields around you, you know, um, when you're around other people, they also have those layers. And so if their energy is very negative, it's very easy for it to come into your field, because, energy, you'll intertwine your energy with theirs. And so it's very easy to get negative energy in with yours, or vice versa. Like if they're high vibrational and they have a lot of positive energy, it'll also have a positive effect, but it'll also affect your energy field, because we have those layers around us. So basically, if we didn't have this etheric layer around us, we wouldn't physically exist. And I know this is kind of an interesting concept to think about, but we consciously created our body. So, using the power of our consciousness, we put our body together. We created our body, our cells, all parts of our body, right? And so that's pretty amazing that we were able to create our bodies, but it's being held together. And you think about it, like our body is material, but it's looking, it looks like it's doesn't move to us because it's vibrating at such a low level. So basically, it's energy that we took and brought it down to the lower vibration and frequency to the point that it became matter. And then when it became solid matter, then we were able to make a body out of it. And so if the etheric layer didn't exist, then our physical life would not exist because that's what connects us to our physical body. So we need to have that layer in order to exist in the physical world and have a physical life, so to speak. The root chakra brings energy in through that little funnel I was talking about into that etheric layer. So it keeps the flow of energy coming in and out. That's what the chakra is doing. So it's pushing out the negative energy and the energy that can't be metabolized to positive. It's kicking it out through the pushing it out, but it's also bringing energy in and keeping the energy around us, at all times. So it's bringing into our energy field and keeping that field, that layer constantly full of energy to keep us going. And because we need to have that energy, like we have that, I talked in other videos about that divine spark that we have with, creator source or God, we have that divine spark. And so we need that, have that energy coming from him to stay, to function and stay alive, basically. So he came up with a way to continue to give us that connection to him through that divine spark and that energy and allow us to be able to function in the physical. So even though we're in the physical world, we still have that connection and we still need that energy coming in from divine source to allow us to function and to live and to, be in this physical existence. Um, so the element that the root chakra is connected to is earth, which of course, that makes sense, grounding to the earth because it's the lowest of the chakras at the base of our spine to the earth. And also, I was talking about the chakras connected to the adrenal glands, but it's also connected to the colon, which is why you can have digestive issues if you have blockages in this chakra, and also with our bones, muscles, and kidneys. And it also connects us to the lower back because it's at the base of the spine. So those lower organs there that it's connected to. So, so basically, the just digestive organs, but also your feet, your prostate, your legs, your pelvis, and your anus. So it's connected to all those. Just think of the organs that are kind of in the lower part of your body. That's what your root chakra is connected to, is to all those organs. And so you want that good flow coming in through that chakra to help keep those organs down there running, smoothly and properly. And I think a lot of people, they that are probably walking around with blocked chakras and don't even know it, and they're having it manifest in the physical problems that could be helped to be alleviated just by unblocking that chakra. Because one thing I want to add is in the past when I've had issues like with the security, stability and security of that root chakra, I've also had one of the symptoms I had was digestive issues. So that's kind of interesting that, that's one of the organs that it impacts because I can personally testify that I've had issues with that in the past. And it just depends. I mean, sometimes when I've had, like this last time that I had, the issue with my root chakra, I really didn't have any digestive issues. But it just depends. I remember years before I had issues with my root chakra years and years ago, and I did have digestive issues with that. So I guess that was my body's way of saying, something you need to take care of this. And that's probably what's going on is your body is having these physical ailments because it's like, hey, you need to unblock this chakra. But unfortunately, we haven't been taught this information. A lot of us, like I didn't know anything about chakras growing up. I didn't learn about this till about, 10, 15 years ago. But a lot of people, probably don't know anything about it. And it would be nice to have this information, when we're, in our youth growing up, to understand how our spiritual body works in connection with our physical body. So, let's see. I'm going to end the video with some crystals that you can use to work with your root chakra. And I really like crystals. I just enjoy them so much. I really I wear them pretty much every day, and I have them all over my house. And I just really like them. But just make sure, if you're using crystals to work with your chakras or just to meditate or whatever, make sure you take good care of them, because crystals are they have consciousness, and they have an energy field themselves and consciousness. So you need to take good care of them. So make sure that you know, cleanse them every once in a while. And you can cleanse them in different ways. If they can get wet, if the crystal can handle water, and you want to research that first before you do this, but you can cleanse them by running them under water, under pure water. You can, put them in salt for 24 hours and cleanse them that way. And one of the ways I like to do it is smudging them with sage. The smoke of the sage. You can cleanse them that way. You can also, like use a clean cloth and wipe them and cleanse them. And then you can also charge them, like in the moonlight, in the sunlight. Leave them out for a few hours in the sun or in the moonlight. But there's different ways that you can, charge them and cleanse them, but just make sure you take care of them. So some of the different crystals that you can use for your root chakra are the black onyx, garnet, ruby, and hematite. And I'm going to show you, this is my hematite bracelet, and it's kind of a shiny metallic color, but I love this bracelet. I wear it almost every day, and it's just such a beautiful piece. It's such a gorgeous piece of, jewelry, gorgeous bracelet, and I love the color of it. But I like to wear this one on a regular basis. But this is a good one for the root chakra. But also, I've got here some smoky quartz. This is another one that you can use. And you've got different types of quartz. You got clear quartz, but this one's smoky quartz. You can tell because it looks smoky. I don't know if you can tell on the camera I'm trying to show you, but it's kind of like it looks like smoke, the color of smoke, basically. And just look how gorgeous that is. You can just see through it. This one's a little bit lighter than this one, but I like these ones. I have these ones that I use. I meditate with these ones on a regular. But just gorgeous stones. You can see how pretty they are. And like this one, you can see, I'll use it on this hand to get closer. You can see how it's, just pretty color. So yeah, so those are the crystals that you can use. So that's basically a detailed look at the root chakra. But just, as a takeaway, just remember it's a very important chakra. Especially since it's the first one that we develop when we come to Earth. And so there's going to be, we're probably going to need a lot of cleansing of trauma with that chakra, and a lot of work. And it's just on it, a lot of work on that chakra, but it's important to keep grounded so that chakra, can work properly. So stay grounded to the earth so it has a way to dispel negative energy out of your system and out of that, that of your body. Because if you think about it, if that etheric layer that's connected to our root chakra around us is all 7 chakras are in it, that's a lot of energy it's dealing with. So you definitely want to take care of that chakra and keep it grounded to the earth and keep it flowing properly. So hopefully you learned something in this video interesting about root chakras. I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you for joining me today. And I'll be coming soon with the sacral chakra. That one's coming up next. So I hope you'll tune in for that one as well. So thank you for joining me, and have a good day. Bye-bye.